Can you hear me now? Is that how that?
Verizon ad.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the chance to come here and answer the question. I think which is why did we think it was important to spend money on this from a Duke Energy standpoint? And I'm really excited by listening to this morning's, because I know this is a group of manufacturers here, and being in the electric industry, generally our conversation is so when I get to talk with you folks. So I'm kind of glad I have the microphone and get to talk about our business model just a little bit. So in fact, at break, one of the guys kind of made a joke about me being part of the cost component of your business. So maybe we can broaden the thinking just a little bit to know we're all partners and we're all in this together. So let me tell you just a little bit about Duke Energy. We are we're headquartered out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We serve 5 states, or portions of 5 states in the U.S. We happen to be the 5th largest electric utility in the United States, which is interesting if you think about the fact that we're just in portions of 5. So that tells you there's an awful lot of energy providers in the United States if we're the 5th with just that footprint. But we have been around for a while. If you're an investor, we're very proud of our dividends. I think I spoke to a gentleman about that from that aspect.
Is it going to continue?
They are going to continue. That's our plan. That's our plan. So, if you're wondering, check with your own advisor. But, for me, yeah, it's a good investment. But this is a look at our service territory to give you an idea. Like I said, we're in 5 states headquartered in North Carolina. But in Indiana, which is really where we're at and why we're here to talk about, we serve portions of 69 of the 92 counties here in Indiana. And one thing for you to think about in our business model is our objective as a company in these 5 states is we have 3 objectives and balances that we have to do. We need to produce affordable power, and I know everyone in this room wants us to continue to do that. We also have to have very reliable power. And in today's market, it's just as important that it be clean. Now in Indiana, we've had very affordable power for the last 50 years because 95% of it is generated by coal. And that brings us a challenge then on the clean portion as we begin to move towards that going forward. Reliability, we feel really good about our reliability, but as Stephen talked earlier, industry and everyone needs it even more reliable than they ever have in the last few years. So that's why you're in the right place to be in that space, because the rest of you don't want us to provide that level of reliability to everyone because it's very expensive. So that gets shifted over. But in fact, but we do have good, affordable and reliable power here in Indiana. We're proud of. So I was meeting with a customer earlier this week that is very sensitive to that issue, and we were talking about what great reliability, I was pointing out what great reliability they have. And he brought up product they lost in the ice storm. Anyone from around here, you remember that ice storm? I mean, it was 19 years ago. That's the last time they lost product. I just wanted to point out, I think that's pretty good, But anyway, it's very near and dear to their hearts, so I'm glad we get to talk about it again. Anyway, that's who we are. And one thing I just want to point out, for us to grow our business in Indiana, we're a little different than the rest of you. You see that boundary when I talk about the 69 and 92 counties we serve. For us to grow our business here, we need to bring business in. You all are global, and you can sell. Your market is everywhere. So no matter where you make it, you can sell it everywhere. Well, we grow within a boundary. So it's a little bit of the flip of what most everyone else is doing. So anyway, why did we invest in this tool here? Well, just so you know, like I said, because we have boundaries we have to do. The way we grow our business is helping all of you grow. So we invest heavily in Indiana in economic development. A lot of times with time and leadership as much as anything, not just like we did this time to help invest in a tool. But we stay actively engaged both with state and local organizations. Jeb already blew the cover because I serve on his board there in Kokomo and helped hire him. So I don't know if I was going to bring that up. No, just kidding. No, I was. But yeah, so we, along with other industry partners there, Duke Energy is always very active in that, but I guess the point is it's good business for us. It's not just because we're a good corporate citizen and we're out there, or it's not a feel-good, warm, warm fuzzy. I mean, it is that too, but we're business people, and we grow when Indiana grows. Bottom line. I think I kind of already mentioned this. This is a current map of the foreign investment in Indiana, and we'd like to see that grow. I mean, we're already competing very well, if you think about it, globally for Indiana. We think that's going to increase, but it's all going to be different. And as Jeb talked about our heritage that we have in the Great Lakes region, and industry and manufacturing. We all in this room understand the transformation that's going to be and how it's going to be different tomorrow than it's been in the past. And so we need tools and things in place that help attract that investment and growth that's right for Indiana and keeps us all in that space. And of course, this is really from the state, but I mean, we continue to be, first among states per capita in manufacturing employment here in Indiana. Now, I want to tell you it's because of the low cost of energy and affordability. And I know you're all agree. Purdue would want to tell you it's because of the talent and everything, the workforce. And all those things are true. Indiana is a great place to do business for a number of reasons, and those just being some of them. But we think there is a future. Who said that about the coast being, did you say that? Who said that about the coast being, the east and west coast, not thinking manufacturing is going to go forward, but we've, here if you're from here, you understand that it'll be different. We're going to have to get pretty smart and innovative, which is why we're here today, and how that goes forward and the value in that, but it's going to go forward. Well, I've already stated that we work closely with local EV organizations. We work close enough that we understand the kind of budgets that municipalities and these organizations are. I mean, if they rely on public-private funding, well, you know how much extra money corporations have had to invest in their communities. I mean, it's always the first thing to go is some of those investments locally, good or bad, it's just that that's kind of where things get cut. And so that leaves those people who are actually tasked with growing local economies with very limited resources to actually do it. So we're close enough to understand that. So if you can give them an innovative tool that cuts down on, the resources they need to get that done, as well as a market advantage, out there and doing that only makes sense. So that's pretty easy to understand, but a lot of times folks don't think about it. But if you pick up the newspaper, every city, county, everybody's talking about how are we going to make budget and all that. Well, it's like business, you start cutting down on marketing costs and everything. Doesn't make a lot of sense really long term, but they do it in communities too. Jeb's already explained the access that it gives to existing businesses. That just helps Duke. I mean, those existing businesses are our customers as well. So if we can help, we help the community, the businesses in the community to transform, maybe find new markets to play in, attract new supply chains, identify new markets and all. Here again, we're growing our business within our footprint, as well as finding gaps and shortcomings and, that could be in the supply chain that you may not recognize. It could actually be driving someone to think about leaving the service territory. See, right away I go to electric speak there about leaving the state that you wouldn't know about if you weren't engaged with them at this level. So, it is another level of engagement with our business sector and where we're headed with that. So we just think that this is a good investment. We have no idea what the return will be, but we think it'll be exponential, really, to our business as it transforms the economy, much more so than if we just let it happen, if it happens organically, if we don't, if we don't give people tools and put it in place. And I will just say, really, Walmart Foundation was the major sponsor of this. I mean, they weren't able to be here today, but they gave the greatest gift, very generous gift to everything done. So, Jeb and I talked, and Duke said, yeah, we'll get there too. We'll come along as well and get what we need to do, because it does take resources sometimes to get these things done. So with that, just basically leave you with the idea you never know what enterprises down the road, that philosophy. So thank you.
Thank you, Laura.